Good morning. My name is Rick White from 180 Biz, and this is my Just One Thing. What are we going to talk about today? We've been talking about getting in the zone, but there's another part of zones that I want to talk about, and that's getting zoned out. There's two questions you got to ask yourself. It's not if you're zoned out or not, it's when do you zone out and how long do you stay there? Those are the two questions that are super, super critical. So let's deal with the first question. What causes you to zone out? Okay. Think about this for a sec. I've come up with basically three things that are going to do this. Number one, especially for us guys, we have a really hard time with emotion. So when we're feeling bad, we have a tendency to take those bad feelings, put them in a box, put the box up on a shelf, and just zone out. So you could spend a day staring at the television, not watching it at all, but we're completely disconnected, from our feelings. But here's the bad part. And this is something I know intimately. You can't zone out from just one area in your business, right? If you want to shut your bad feelings off, it's not like you have a whole bunch of permissions set up so I can say, well, I want to feel loved and I want to feel fun, but I don't want to feel sad and I don't want to feel frustrated or angry, right? That's not going to happen. There's only one switch. So if you want to shut down from your feelings, you want to zone out from your feelings, you're zoning out from all of your feelings. And you know who it hurts the most? Besides yourself, it hurts the ones you're with. It hurts your team. It hurts your significant others. It hurts your family. Because it's like the lights are on, but nobody's home. You're there, but you're not engaging, right? And this is something that I struggle with sometimes. In our house, we call it checking out. So what causes you to zone out? Number one, you're avoiding bad feelings, right? Whether you're frustrated, stressed out, whatever the case is, you just want to go to a happy place a little bit and not feel bad. So the first thing you're doing is avoiding, okay? But the second thing that happens when you zone out is sometimes you're bored. Sometimes it's just being bored. Like there's nothing exciting, nothing challenging. And we just start to zone out and dial it in, doing the minimum that we have to do. But I want you to understand that the big part of zoning out is you're disconnected. You're disconnected from everything. And when you're disconnected, you're not driving. And this is where we get to the second question. Right? Because if you're not driving, you're letting situations, circumstances, events, and other people do the driving for you. And I hope you're like me and don't like that. I hope you're like me and say, no, I want to drive. Yeah, but Rick, you're shut down. I know I'm shut down. I hate when I'm shut down. So getting to understand and be aware of what we're feeling is a big deal. A big part of this is how long you're zoned out for. There's an old quote from Benjamin Franklin that says, most people die at 25. They just don't fall over until 75. Think about that for a sec. Even back then, 50 years, like people just giving up, going through the motions for, 50 years, 2/3 of their lives. That's just wrong. Sometimes I'm talking to a client, I use a technical management term for this. I call it, you got your head up your ass, because sometimes that's where it is. When we recognize that that's what's going on, you got to get your head out and then you got to get back in the game. As you zone out, things get tighter, right? Fear goes up and you get that smaller and smaller comfort zone. And now it's like this fear is just this insurmountable thing to get through. Because what I want you to understand is while you're zoned out to get away from everything, it doesn't mean the stuff that got you zoning out went away. Zoning out doesn't fix anything. It actually exasperates everything. Zoning out doesn't fix anything. You need a break, fine. Give yourself a break, but set a timer. Go take a nap, go for a walk, read a book, do what you got to do, but set a timer, because I need you to know that your problems, everything you're avoiding, gets bigger and badder with time, right? The more you neglect a problem, the bigger the problem gets. And yes, it sucks. Some of the problems we've got to overcome suck. And guess what? Some of them you've put off for a while. I'm going through that right now. I've got this one thing that I've put off for probably 5 or 6 years, and I'm finally dealing with it now. And it's painful, but by God, Brenda and I are going to get through it. I just need you to understand avoidance is not the answer. Zoning out is not the answer. You are better off to be able to step back, recognize what you're feeling. Am I stressed? Am I overwhelmed? Am I mad? Am I feeling hopeless? Am I desperate? Am I feeling, depressed and anxious? Don't bury that stuff. Find someone you can talk to about it. Sometimes just the act of talking can make a huge difference. Okay? Just because it causes you to sort things out, right? So logically you're going through it, and all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, I feel better. I can't tell you how many people are going through life zoned out. Don't do that. Life is too short. We don't know how long we have. For me, regret comes from something I could have done and didn't do. And I don't want to regret anything. Yeah, I've made mistakes and I've come to peace with that. That's okay. Recognize you're checked out. Recognize you're in the zone, out of the zone, and then get yourself back into one of the zones. Be in the comfort zone for a little bit. That's okay. Get into the growth zone. That's okay. Get into the learning zone. That's okay. But don't be zoned out, okay? Please share this video if you liked it. And if you want to hear all of this put together, plus more about getting in the zone, Brenda will put our Pocket Business Genius link in there as well. Stay safe. God bless. And have some fun this week and go make some money.